This is the 35th anniversary of the release of your first book. You've done, TV, you've done columns, you've done so many things. First of all, do you miss doing CBS Sunday Morning?
Yeah, I miss it in a way, but I was there for 11 years, and it was a wonderful experience. And I kind of am not oriented to missing things. I had a '56 Chevrolet when I graduated from high school in 1969. People say, "Don't you wish you had it now?" I said, "No, I'm glad I had it then." Don't you wish you were still doing? No, I had a great time doing that. Yeah. And I move along, and there's always something new. And actually, my daughter is out in Albuquerque. She's kind of rebooting my YouTube channel, and I have a bunch of those postcards from Maine from CBS. Yeah. I have stuff from the What's for Supper show that I did for the Maine Public Broadcasting. I even have some old stuff from the '80s from So You Think You Know Maine. So we're making clips. Those are all going. But the thing I'm doing now that I really like, and I think I was on here when I had just done that Stephen King Drunken Fireworks book. So I did that, and I've narrated Steve's books, and Joe, his son Joe, who writes under the name Joe Hill, I had a part in a cast of thousands. Steve was in it too. This thing called Lock and Key, that both of those were up for the finalists for Audi Awards in the spoken. Right. But I'm working with Fred Greenhalgh and Bill Duffy, and Bill Duffy is the voice of Bob the Builder on TV. And they're down in Cape Elizabeth, and I have a continuing part in a series called The Dark Tome. And I'm this old Maine guy who runs a bookstore named Gussie, and I have to go down in 2 weeks because I'm in purgatory now, and they have to get me. We've had like 4 seasons, but it's so much fun because this is a whole thing that a whole other audience follows. About a week before I drove to Albuquerque on the bike, I went down and I got interviewed by a young fellow in Los Angeles who interviews the actors in character. So I did the whole thing as Gussie in character.
Wow.
I mean, it's just, and so I'm doing that, and I've got there's a sitcom that I get approached 2 or 3 times a year about doing a sitcom. But this sitcom, actually, I can't tell too much about it, but if it happens, it'd be great, because the basic premise is there's a couple of people in a little town in Maine. That whole thing that came up about auctioning off, an essay contest, and you win a house in Maine. Yeah. Well, the reason they're having that essay contest, the thing's going into the ground. It's falling apart. That's why they, So this is like there's a diner in Maine that's just like going to go out of business. So with last-ditch attempt, these 2 characters, me and this other character who you would instantly recognize, a woman about my age, and we decide to have this essay contest, and we sell it and somebody wins, and we make a bunch of money, but they're from away, and they come, and we don't think they can do it right, so we stick around anyway. I think that's a great premise for a sitcom.
I think it's awesome.